All right, ladies and gentlemen, and here we go into AD2L Season 14. This is DotP.Devils versus the Western Wolves. This is the, I don't know what to call this, it's the game before the semifinals.
Quarterfinals.
Quarterfinals, that's a perfect word for that. Thank you, Fafnir. Oh. And here we don't go.
Guess not.
What was that?
I don't know, but you're not in our broadcast channel.
Wait,
You
Oh,
should have
shit.
hopped down. You guys needed to move.
I tried to, but it said it wasn't able to join. Well, the in-game is going to be jacked, but we have recordings.
Dire teams
That's fine. I mean, whatever.
Okay. All right. Well, go ahead, Wiverx. Start it up again, I guess.
Sure, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, this is AD2L Season 14, .P.Devils versus the Western Wolves in the quarterfinals. So far, .P.Devils had a bye the first game and a def win on their second game due to the other team's scheduling conflicts. So this will actually be their first game in the playoffs. Fafnir, I noticed there is a stand-in.
You're cutting in and out with.
Radiant team's turn to ban.
Just FYI, I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, they have a stand-in. .P's own .P Roland is standing in for AG47. He'll be playing the safe lane carry, and it's a pretty big disadvantage to lose your carry player. In particular, since Kairai and Turtle Berserker are both pretty divey players, AG was kind of, both in personality and in hero pool, tried to play stable carries that could make space for them and or recover shit when shit gets bad. Lots of life stealers, lots of Lunas, the sort of stable heroes that can create space.
Yeah, and also, I think that when you look at this, it's also could be a boon because Roland tends to be more of a divey player, and if you do have the whole team diving with you at once and committing to a situation, it could end up horribly bad and kind of screw up the entire momentum of the team and kind of be even bigger losses. But those wins may depend on the whole team diving at sometimes.
So first pick Venge, no Luna ban, no Lone Druid ban. I know they got nerfed, but other than Underlord, these bans don't seem to be the normal ones you'd expect.
5 seconds remaining. You're using up your reserve time.
Yeah,
Go for it, Fafnir.
I think they are trying to set up a Drow pick, or maybe the Luna pick is their backup, or rather, Luna pick and then the Drow pick's the backup. But I don't understand picking Venge. I don't think Venge is a contested part of either combo, right?
I think Venge is not really a contested part, but it works for both sides of the draft, so you can pick it to start with. Thing is, though, it's not something I would pick up when a Shadow Demon exists, and you can easily just pick up Shadow Demon right now and set up like so much more within the drafting stages. I know that he got a little bit of a nerf, obviously, because the illusions take more damage, but I don't think it's that big of a nerf, all things said and done. It's still illusions that go after a tower and deal some positive damage.
The other thought is that a lot of teams have been running Venge carry, at least in 7.01. I haven't seen it in 7.02, but there's only been like 4 ticketed games for that. A lot of people have been running the Venge carry instead, and then running like SF or some other more beefy scaling, and then they use the Venge just to create early pressure and initiation out of their position 1. I don't know if Roland plays that, though. Like, I'm sure he'd say he would, but I think he's the kind of Bloodsutter person. Be like, yeah, I play that. I played it twice. It's great.
I think that the core Venge is definitely still alive. I think that, I mean, they did. You said that they buffed her damage, correct?
War Chief.
Right. I mean, that doesn't help her in the early game, but that does give her that little bit of potential later on. I mean, she was already very strong carry early in the game, and now that with that centaur picked up, she actually has some more escape, because that's kind of the one thing that's bad. You can like swap out someone in your hero pool,
10 seconds remaining.
in like certain team fights, but her true escape really comes from like force staffs, and sometimes force staffs aren't
Dire
the
team
most
ban.
useful way to get away. Having a centaur in the offlane could actually grant that a help, especially with the disruptor picked up. You can, if you time it correctly and the disruptor is kind of bad, you can kind of have that glimpse back and still run away. If hopefully he doesn't get the connect field up in time.
I find it interesting that they're banning. I guess they don't want to give up the life stealer to the Slardar. But I was thinking a life stealer, if they're not doing Avenge carry, which I don't think they actually are, I think Jug or life stealer is really important because you want a tower hitter who can escape from a glimpse, potentially.
Yeah. I'm actually surprised that they are not banning Weaver at this point. Like, yeah, that's a lot of stun coming out from the .P.Devils, but if you have Slaughter Weaver, that is just so much negative armor and so much damage that has for that potential. Bugs did get nerfed a little bit, but I don't think that he's unusable.
The damage got nerfed, but like the minus armor was always the biggest component of them. It's kind of just one of those little nerfs. The other thing is that the vision provided by Glimpse, it allows you to get so many glimpses off because you have all three heroes, if you pick Weaver now, can provide that vision for that glimpse at max range, potentially.
Exactly.
So yeah, I think Weaver's a great ban.
I'm not sure if they'll go for it. I kind of agree with you with a life stealer. It could be one of those situations. I've done it too as a captain many times, where you're like, Venge is a really solid pick that can go anywhere, and then you kind of like get into the mindset of, oh, this needs to be a carry because that's like in the back of my mind that it could be, and then you just don't really think of it as a possibility as a support, and maybe that's what they were doing. Okay, they go for the Pudge band. It's always good. He is very strong right now.
I think this team played Pudge like 6 times or something and had a 100% win rate with it. So if you've got a good roamer, and the other thing is, if they are going for the Luna or the Drow strat, like Pudge is really good at disrupting that in that he just hooks your carry or hooks the support out of position when you're sieging, and that all of a sudden it's 4v5.
Yeah, it's very true. I think that I intentionally, whenever I go into a pub game or into a team game, I generally pick up Pudge for that reason. Whenever Luna comes up, there's the Weaver pick.
Yep, and that's a big problem for them.
And the thing is, like what you were saying, Faf, like they all synergize so well, and they can be put in many different lanes too. You were saying that obviously we were talking about how we could play it as a support, and they could even put it as a carry versus this lineup. I don't see Venge having that big of an impact as a carry in this situation versus a Weaver. Whereas if she was a support, I think she would do a better job. So it's flexible, just like how Venge is. And now they have to commit to a certain style.
I think they pick up the Luna here. Like, I know she got nerfed. Her night vision got nerfed is probably the biggest aspect. She doesn't have that 1,000 night vision range until she's got a lot of levels. But they want somebody who tanks up and somebody who can punish when a Slaughter, because if a Slaughter goes on a Luna, like a Weaver does a lot of damage, but he doesn't burst that quickly usually. So a Slaughter crush amp, you got to hope that she can get off her Eclipse and just kind of turn the fight, and then you have somebody to save her.
Huh.
Yeah, Roland likes Drow a lot. I don't like it against Weaver. Like it's okay against Weaver, but man, it's a rough Drow game.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, it's true.
5 seconds remaining.
See, the thing is, what I would say is that Drow Ranger, I kind of agree with you that versus Weaver, it's like sketchy. The thing is, though, it's really strong versus Disruptor, because Disruptor glimpses you back. There is that problem, but in a team fight, he doesn't really like do like a solid lockdown, so you can still just like right click people. The only thing is Slaughter is like the known person. Like if I'm gonna pick Slaughter, it's gonna be versus a Drow. So there is that problem very much.
Yeah, they got to focus on keeping him down. If he gets a 10-minute blink instead of the 16-minute blink, like that's in a Drow lineup, you're hoping to take down a bunch of towers before then. In one aspect, I do think Drow lineups got strengthened. So it used to be you had to take the tier 2s, but with 7.02, you have to take a tier 3 to get shrines. A lot of Drow lineups, you're in a situation where if you win a fight on a tier 2, you can easily take that tier 3 before they respawn. And then the shrines are vulnerable. So I think that kind of actually strengthens early push lineups in a weird way.
Yeah, that's true. It's now with that Storm Spirit pick, they are going like hardcore in their face after that Drow. It's going to be a very, very contested position, and I feel like they need something to just keep her alive. Maybe an Oracle, a Dazzle, or some type of thing just to give them some time to keep her alive.
A Dazzle would be amazing for Western Wolves. Because a Weave combined with the rest of their minus armor heroes, plus it's a good laning support, and Disruptor is quite weak in lane. Like, he's good at setting up some things in lane, but he doesn't do much on his own if you just walk at him like a Centaur can. But a Dazzle Weaver can easily handle a Centaur.
Yeah, it's true. I was thinking more of for the Devils, really, on that side, trying to keep them alive, but...
I think it's okay on the Devils, but it's not great. Like, I feel like you want something that gives you some disable that's not easy to dodge. Like, even Gust is kind of easy to dodge. And Vengestun and Centaur Stomp are very easy to dodge for Weaver and Storm.
But they're going to be on their face no matter what. Like, if you go stun on DotP.Devils, they have to be the aggressors. And that's a risky situation when they have all that to get on top.
5 seconds remaining.
I think Enigma's really good if they were running it offlane, but they already picked Centaur. Like, Enigma would be pretty great for their lineup if you run it offlane. You just cannot run it as a jungler in this configuration.
Yeah, that'd be way too greedy for them, and Weaver would punish that hardcore.
I mean, quite literally, if they do that, they could just pick another carry and just have the Weaver go hunt the Enigma down.
Yeah.
I'm curious. They ban out the Lion, so that again, I think they're just worried about burst and stuns against Storm and Weaver, who don't start out very tanky. And they're just going for a pretty deathball-y push. I like the TA against Storm. Like, TA is one of those heroes. Like, if you stomp the Storm in lane, he's just not relevant for quite some time. And with a Shadow Shaman, they're just committing. They're just going to push.
It's true. They are committing to push, but they're also committing to a very slow support that he almost has to depend on a Stampede charge, because Shadow Shaman, unless he's getting the farm as a 4-roll, then it's going to be very hard for him to get into position on this crew, in my opinion. Slaughter has his sprint, Storm can zip away, and oh wow, even an Omni Knight comes out from the other team, so it's going to be even harder to lock someone down completely.
Yeah, I think people get way too focused on the wards and how good they are for pushing, and the Shadow Shaman's deficiencies in other areas get neglected, and I think that's kind of what's happened. I really think they picked him up because they wanted the wards, and then they're like, oh, he also gives disable, but I don't think it works. He's just going to die to Weaver over and over and over again, I feel like.
I'll say one thing, though. If Devils get their hands on this game and they do well in the beginning, they're going to have a really hard time stopping them. If they don't get that blink up soon on the Wolves, and they don't have that good rotation available, it's really hard to stop the tower pushes with just bugs.
Yeah, and they don't have much deep push. The one good thing they do have is if the Weaver goes the kind of now standard Dragonlance Deso, he's really good at killing wards because he's got good range, and every Geminate is a dead ward. And then he can Sakuchi to just dodge. Like, if he takes a bunch of shots, he can Sakuchi to dodge them. I mean, the main danger is you get disabled, and the wards will easily kill you. But he's just good at ripping away wards if he's got somebody to cover for him.
30 seconds to battle.
Well,
in a team game, I don't think it matters much.
I think it does in a certain sense. I think that it's nice to still have 2 in team games because I would like to try to get the ward, like Fafnir is basically saying, is that you'd like to get the ward that they ward up in middle or things like that, and get the ward in the offlane. But if you are in a situation where you feel like the ward is wasted in the offlane, it can be nice to have that extra 100 gold to be able to get your boots a little bit quicker, or maybe even your like a windlace or something, especially on someone like Shadow Shaman, who needs those very early. If they notice it. I don't think he's noticed it. They weren't really in position.
Yeah, I don't think they saw it, so they wouldn't know. I think the main reason I say it's mostly a pub thing is that a team should already probably budget for having 2 sentries, but meanwhile, like in a pub game, like it just lets you economize more.
Yeah, definitely. I also think that this in this lane setup, I think that Templar Assassin, unless they're going to rotate out of bottom, which it doesn't look like they are.
No. There is no reason they didn't have a smoke. If you're planning on making a level 1 rotation like that, you just have to buy the smoke. And they both have gold for it. If they have a smoke, that's 100% a success, because then they get the stun off on him. But it's daytime, so you can't just walk on a guy. They'll walk away from you.
Yeah, it's kind of wasted time, but it is pulling the other supports off, and Centaur is finally getting some farmed out of
But
bottom.
they've smoked, and so they will not necessarily see this coming.
That's true.
And it is good to give Drow solo XP. Drow is not last hitting that well. She's got some denies, but Drow's poor animation and lower base damage compared to an Iron Talon Slardar, who is just probably giddy that he's getting this much CS right now.
Yeah, definitely. I also think that, like,
And just TP. That's a nice save play. And again, they didn't have a smoke on them, so they just walk into tower vision in broad daylight, and the opposing team just reacted appropriately.
Disruptor's pushing Kyrie back a little bit, but Kyrie has his bottle, and it's going to be really hard to really gank him at this point. Storm Spirit does not win this matchup, or probably should not win this matchup. And the thing is, right now, it looks like actually the offlaners on both teams are getting something out of their lanes. Centaur not quite as much, but the supports are just hanging out mid and kind of stealing experience from the mid player right now on both sides.
I think this kind of is to the advantage of the Storm, honestly, as much as anything, because TA in a one-on-one should beat him. So anything that kind of mixes up the matchup is, in the end, good.
Sure.
Again, they got an Invis on the Disruptor, so this might be a kill on Kyrie here mid. Oh, this.
Yeah, without glimpse, it just seems wasteful, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it is. The kinetic field is just even with kinetic field lands.
Oh, bottom. Ooh.
Oh.
The first thread is cut.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Bugs, Tsukuchi damage. Looks like he just harassed him low, and then just committed with the bugs and just went after him. That's just Turtle Berserker underestimating the Weaver's damage output at this point.
That Blightstone, it does work. Sometimes offlaners forget that.
It does so much work. Oh, they're going to get a haste rune on. Nope, Storm rightfully decides he doesn't necessarily want to get into a man mode. But we have some underleveled supports. I mean, Drow is level 5 4 minutes in. That's really good. So if they can get this Drow level 6, I think they should just group up and start pushing with the 2 supports.
Yeah, if they could get a couple stacks off, just get the supports a couple levels on Devils, and that for that case on Wolves, it would help out both teams severely.
Yeah, and Shadow Shaman doesn't have. He bought his boots. He needs to get the courier to get them out to him. But he went for the Hex and Shackles build, which I'm not a fan of.
Yeah, I prefer getting a little bit into Ether Shock just so you can blow people up, maxing that up and getting one into Shackles, one into Hex. But they do have quite a bit of damage on the Devils, so maybe they're saying, okay, we just need to keep them completely locked down, especially Storm, and when we have the opportunity. I think
this Slardar already has Tranquils.
Haste.
Mid.
For justice.
They got him.
Top.
I hear the
Yeah, I think Slardar needs. Yeah, I think Slardar needs to, at this point, just jungle. He's got Tranquils and Iron Talon. He can probably get more farm jungling and be safer. And he's not going to pressure the Drow. All that happens is it's a matter of do the supports kill him or force him out of lane. Because the best case scenario is you get forced out of lane. But two support.
Yeah, I think that at this point though, now that they have Slaughter's 5 and Omni's about to hit level 3, if Disruptor actually just backed off a little bit, let Omni hit 3, they could probably gank Roland over and over at this point. They have nothing. I guess they have Shadow Shaman level 3 now. Still no Ether Shock though, so I guess they don't really know that.
Yeah, they just pulled the lane, so it's going to pull it back to tower. Meanwhile, mid, Kyra is winning, but not by as massive a margin as you really need to. I think to, like, if you say you're dominating, Storm's just fine with coming close to even in a lane.
Definitely.
And Kyra is 6 now, so he has his traps. So there is this window before Storm hits 6, but he's going to hit 6 and one more creep. And now he's 6, so now he's not really gankable. I think it would have been really nice had Kyra just gone for the kill there. Because if he... Yeah. Roland is in severe trouble. Oh, the double crush. He's dead.
Invisibility.
Rough time for the Devils right now. Just
Tower
I
needs some help.
feel like they're dominating every lane. They're obviously Fafnir already talked about how Storm Spirit should be losing this lane, and he's actually doing okay. And now that's the second kill on Weaver, and their trialing up top is not working. They had 2 go down. This is a situation where they almost need to group up at this point, and have something done.
Kyra is dead, I think.
blow the man down.
They did get a disruptor at least, so it is a breath of life for the supports getting something out of it. I think it's still a desperate situation. They need to get some smokes out and make some plays happen at this point.
The third point, no Ether Shock. He's maxing Shackles. Honestly, at this point, I think the Drow needs to jungle, and they need to get those wards up. Because once they have the wards up, they still can't stop them. Like, those wards committed, that's a tower dead. As long as, like, at least 4 of the heroes are there. But Shadow Shaman is just sitting around, like, grouping with them, and he's not getting any XP. And now Turtle Berserkers even. They do have Stampede, though, so they can disengage that way.
This is actually the thing that's probably the best that they could hope for, is having another lane get pressured. Oh, bottom's going down.
If Kimbrel... Did he already spend his stun? Oh, I don't know if he had mana. He didn't have mana for a stun. If he had had enough mana for a second stun there, he was 1 mana short, that Weaver would have died for that dive. Because you just turned him stunned and then the tower finishes him.
Thing is, though, Roland. Yeah. Drop things.
Yeah, and
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
yeah, and Venge got what, 2 levels down bot at least a level, and you'll take a death on a Venge, even to the Weaver, just to get another level. When your carry's completely unmolested, that's fine. So I think Flub's right. I think now that Drow is able to hit level 8, it's got 2 points in cold arrows. Is going to have a Dragonlance soon, and then you can really start grouping and pushing. But they need to get Shadow Shaman levels. What level is he now? He is still only level 3. He needs to get levels.
Yeah, and he doesn't have a great way to initiate on people. He just has boots. I would like to have seen.
Venge bought the tome, and Venge did get 6 off the tome, so I can understand them economizing that way. But man, Shadow Shaman is a poor Shadow Shaman. I don't like this ward here. This ward doesn't really give them the vision they need to siege the tower.
Yeah, they need it behind the tower. The thing is, though, is they have Weaver is level 10 down here. Omni Knight just to his level 5. Level 5 purification is my
So
favorite
strong
time to
with
hit.
Weaver. Yeah, Roll's not respecting the bugs. They gotta kill those bugs
Someone better help
because she
out.
has negative so much armor with the amp and bugs. And Drow's a very armor. And look at Disruptor. This is really nice from the Western Wolves. See, Disruptor's doing what I think Shadow Shaman needs to do. He is just getting some tender loving care to hit his 6. Because right now this Shadow Shaman doesn't do much of anything. Well, they don't have any catch.
Dire's
They have to commit a
middle tower is
stampede to
under
catch
attack.
anyone. And without the wards, they can't really force the siege. Disruptor's
and-
hit his 6 and is now
Dire's
coming to
top tower
fight.
is under attack.
It's also a problem because, I mean, they've been sitting there. The .P.Devils were all 5 down there, and just like you were saying, Disruptor was getting that farm, and now that he has that farm, him and Weaver, or him and another available person to gank, can go into the woods now, just the 2 of them, and probably get something.
Oh yeah,
Especially if the storm gets this.
they just stunned and didn't get the deny, but that's an Arcane Rune is terrifying on Storm. It's even scarier than the regen. Kyrak could die for this now. He's TPing to the shrine. Or he canceled it.
Dire's bottom
He
tower
changed
is
his
under
mind.
attack.
I think he went to go for the kill, and I think he decided that he wanted the 5 creeps mid more than to try to kill the
Dire's
TA.
being chipped away.
Oh, Kairai.
Bottom tower has
This is
shattered.
so
Okay.
greedy. Slardar has his blink. This is a Slardar blink now at 13 minutes. Shadow Shaman is level 4. They desperately need to give Shadow Shaman a lane. And he doesn't have any Ether Shock, so he can't even go jungle. If he'd gone 2 points of Ether Shock,
Take this abuse. Radiant have fortified their structures.
they need a Stampede right now.
Yeah, and that's the thing about this group. Like, that Omni just really makes their draft incredibly hard to kill, because now they have a guy that just says, okay, not only are you get this big nuke, this big heal, you get a free BKB, and why not just make you immune to physical versus a TA and Drow. That last pick really hurt them, and I don't. Now that they have the lead over DotP.Devils, it's gonna be very hard to secure anything with Slaughter being able to get on top of them. The only one that's really going to have a chance is Templar, and it's too much to ask of Kairai to just
They need to
completely
Stampede now to
blow
get
it
out.
up.
They need the Stampede to get out of there. And now he wastes the Stampede. They should have Stampeded immediately. Or TP'd immediately. Like if they TP'd in place immediately, they would have been fine too. But they walked back. And yeah, they're down 3k XP, and now 2k gold after losing that mid tower and that kill. And they're about to lose this tier 2, because I don't see how they defend this. They don't have Stampede, so they don't have a way to initiate the fight. GA is up, and Omni Knight has a Soul Ring, so he can easily handle that. And their Drow team just getting 5-manned against the draft. That is not what you draft for.
Thing is, though, is they're letting Kimbrel and
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Oh, he might get glimpsed if he's not careful.
Dire's bottom tower needs some help.
Yeah, this is a really great trade.
Dire have fortified their structures. Radiant's top tower has fallen.
I don't like Kimbrel's build either. I think getting an early point in the aura is really essential in a Drow strat. Like, I agree with maxing wave, but not having a point in aura really hurts.
yeah.
I don't think they should fight this. This tower's already dead.
Yeah, if they actually what they should have done is those two should have kept pushing the tier 3 up top. Say, okay, we got that you're getting our tier 2 is 5 players. Okay, we're gonna beat Drow and get probably half of your tier 3 down. And when you try to do something like that again, objectively, I'll just go push that again, and then I'll get a tier 3. I think that in general, though, once this Centaur, which he's very close to, gets his Blink Dagger, I think that'll really help out .P a lot. And if they smoke up at that point, maybe with a Venge, Venge stun, Venge swap, into a good situation, I think that they could get a big buff and maybe take 2 towers out of it. That's if it goes well, though.
Gengakai needs to sit this bottom lane. Even if he dies, he just needs to get his 6. The Desolator is now finished on the Weaver, though, so I fear that the Shadow Shaman does stay. He is food. And again, no points in Aether Shock, so he cannot farm the jungle. He has to sit in the lane to get XP.
Either that, or maybe one of these guys. Well, looks like they may be going for a kill here. No smoke.
Storm has his Bloodstone coming out, I believe. So I think that they're definitely going to look to fight now. They've got a Desolator finished. They've got a Bloodstone finished. Oh, he nukes the creeps, not the TA. I thought they could just set up and kill the TA with just the 3 of them easily.
Weaver is pushing bottom though by himself, so.
A Weaver with Desolator will outpush them right now easily, unless all 5 heroes are. And this Weaver's not been not pressured in lane at all. He hasn't even picked up the Perseverance to get regen. He's just been able to go straight stat items. They get the tier 1 mid.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen. Dire's
That's
bottom
fine.
tower needs some help.
Does Centaur have reveal?
Dire's bottom tower
No,
is
Centaur's
under attack.
getting it, trying to get it. But they don't have reveal. He doesn't have reveal.
Oh, they have
Oh,
it.
he.
Dire's bottom tower is being chipped away.
Oh, he's dead now. Nope. Oh, he got a refraction
Dire's
off.
bottom tower needs some
Oh,
help.
that one bash. He had 2 attacks where if he bashed 2nd time, or maybe 3rd, I wasn't following the fight. That Kyra is just dead. That was huge. That is such a huge kill. Let's see. Net worth, that was 1,000 gold worth exchange, because they got a tier 1, and they got a kill out of it. And I don't think the Western Wolves were able to farm up at all, because they were all grouped. I think they wanted to fight mid the second somebody TP'd back, but they didn't quite find it.
Stupendous.
I think
Shadow
that-
Shaman is 6. Is finally 6.
I think that what's important to realize in this matchup, I think that once they get a good setup on .P.Devils and they have a good push, then the way that the Wolves have built, it's going to be hard to actually not just snowball. Like, you have to snowball. They have, okay, well, they did smoke up here, so actually I'm going to leave it to Liv. Looks like there's going to be a fight.
Oh, they're roshing. No, the smoke was for the Roche. Give it to Storm, and then they're gonna take a fight. And Storm has a haste rune, so they can immediately. Devils, they know.
Oh,
Oh, what the big?
Double kill. We haven't seen the Radiant's bottom tower's
Oh
got
my
cover.
goodness, what a read by them. Did they scan for that, or did they just call it? They scanned for that. Right? No, that was a minute ago. What a call. 3-man kill, 3 kills, an Aegis steal, and they got the Roche kill. They even got the Roche gold off that. And they have Shadow Shaman wards. This could easily be tier 3.
that's one of the biggest throws by the Radiant I've seen in a while. they had the snowball heroes. I was just talking about how they had to snowball off of this. They had to have a good something good happen to them.
Middle tower.
Bloodstone coming up, with having
Middle tower.
a Weaver that has just Deso, no real reason.
Watch him, he's dead. Oh,
Element.
Not my steed again.
Disruptor doesn't have an ult for this, though.
Oh man, the heal comes out and destroys him. They jump. Oh my god, they're just cleaning up now. I don't think he's gonna get out of this. I don't think Tepor is gonna have a chance here. Oh, he gets that.
They went on the wrong target. They went after the Disruptor again. He didn't have an ulti up. They blew up the Omni Knight. That Omni Knight completely won the fight. He got off 2 purifications, I think. He got a repel off, and he used his ult, and that kept at least 2 heroes alive. It would have been a pretty even fight if the Omni doesn't get off all the spells. But they committed their entire burst to the Disruptor, who didn't have an ult. Like, he used ult last fight. It was not up when he bought back.
It's a little bit of a miscommunication, and now Bloodstone has 6 charges on it, more than
Yeah,
it did before.
18.
Dire's middle tower isn't going to last.
Yeah.
Dire's snow fortified.
This Centaur TP is okay. The rest of the team's there. They did get some decent damage on the tier 3, but not enough, obviously. Let's see let's check the network graph. The Devils took the lead by 2.5k gold, and they gave about 1,000 gold back. There. Oh, but they catch the Disruptor again. Yeah, this Disruptor, he wasn't positioned very well last fight, but like honestly, the fact that he got gone on worked out for his team. But he's just trying to get vision up and is punished severely. Oh man, they still have a tier 1 bot with 1 HP. They should just run up and punch that. Don't even mess with the wave.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kimbrel's got it. He's like, I'm getting this gold. I'm the carry.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Yeah, Serpent Ward cooldown's not that long. 2 minutes. It's pretty good.
They're beating on Dire's top tower.
Well-
Yeah.
Thing is, the tier 2 doesn't, that doesn't provide shrines anymore, so, like, I feel like you just drop the wards here, guarantee this tower back up farm a little bit, and wait till you get, like, Roshan again, push another tier 3, or even wards at, like, a higher level, because level 1 wards is not going to cut it.
Oh, they got the Slardar.
Double kill.
Yeah, and the whole problem. So they learned from their last fight, but unfortunately it cost them. So the way that fight went down is they obviously said, hey, we have to kill that Omni Knight. So the Shadow Shaman went straight for the Omni Knight, as did the Venge and the Centaur, and they spent all their time killing the Omni Knight, who didn't really get off many spells. So Shadow Shaman basically got off none of his. His wards didn't go down. He shackled for like 2 seconds and then just blew up. And that meant there was no control for the Weaver or the Storm, who just jumped and killed the TA and the Drow. Like, they blew up the Slardar, which is great, but it feels like they need to take out the Slardar and the Omni for them to win a fight right now.
Yeah, they do. They need to. Well, the thing is they they had like kind of a classic display where
Dire have fortified
it's hard to do when you have.
They're gonna barrel down.
Illusion.
Oh, they didn't have the stun.
Well, what are you talking about, Livrix? When Kairai's on the team, the chase is never done.
I mean, realistically, they can take this tier 3 before the Weaver respawns. If they just walk up and they just need to walk up, throw down wards, and then back off. The tower will die. They don't have fort up, so they can't stop the wards from killing the tower.
It's true.
Yep.
Radiant's middle tower has
Oh, they're coming. But they're gonna get a Rax out of it now. Unless Weaver didn't buy back, so now they just run. They should run right now.
Radiant's middle barracks
Yep.
have fallen.
Need to get out because they're gonna blimp someone.
That's fine. Honestly, leave him to die. They have a nice swap. Just keep running. They need to keep running.
Leave the Kimbrel, boys. Leave the Kimbrel.
Yeah, he got caught by bugs. He's dead. Everyone should see P out right now. That's fine. They lost their two supports for a lane of Rax, and Stampede committing. That's it. Like, that's fine. I do think if they just aggressively TP'd out, they would have only lost one hero, but it was a really nice swap by Kimbrel. That completely saved Roland and just, yeah. Oh!
Healing shock.
That's fine, though. They've got supports, and the supports being that low level they are, they don't have a glyph, though, so they're gonna lose a tier 3 for this, so that makes Shrine's vulnerable.
Short shrift.
Work it up on the oh, a double crush!
Double kill. Triple kill. Killing spree. Bottom barracks double kill. Dire's bottom barracks.
Kimbrel bought back immediately.
Dire let all their bottom towers fall.
They're going for the finish.
Purified.
And I think they were too far forward before their supports had respawned.
They can't finish. This is a waste of time.
They can kill a tier 4.
Yeah, but is that worth it? It would be much better to get another to go back and get their shrines and make sure their map control is lessened by that much more.
I think they can still do that, though. They're leaving now. As long as they leave now, they're fine. Yeah, Omni's just gonna defend their base. They're just gonna punch the shrine now.
They committed all 5 TP. I think they could do it.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Well, and I think the biggest thing we're seeing here now is the net worth lead is actually, after that, is now up to 7,500. Before that, it was pretty even, but